I want you to understand I am not talking to your conscious mind. I am trying to penetrate into your subconscious and place this inside of you so that you never forget it. Right? So we're going to do this 7 times. Right? Smash Zionism.
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 Smash
Smash Zionism.
Zionism. Smash Zionism.
Smash Zionism.
Smash Zionism.
Smash Zionism.
Smash Zionism.
So we don't have to talk no more about what to do about what's happening in Palestine, right? Y'all got that, because this is going, it's coming back around later. I want to make sure you got it. We come to smash Zionism. We do not come to reform Zionism. We do not come to explain Zionism. We do not come to get to know Zionism. We do not come to be friends with Zionism. We come to wipe Zionism off the face of the earth once and for all as a part of our duty to humanity. Smash Zionism. October 9th, we started a conversation with the Palestinian Youth Movement and the Students for Justice for Palestine, standing in front of a Zionist institution in Washington, D.C. called the Washington Post. Y'all remember that?
Can you speak up a little louder, please?
All right.
Thank you.
I said on October 9th, we started a conversation with the Palestinian Youth Movement and the Students for Justice for Palestine in front of a Zionist institution called the Washington Post. And I told you that night that they had showed us their whole playbook. Ain't that what I said? It was about the land. They came to take the land. It was gentrification by genocide. We knew it October 9th. And we have been proven true. It's been proven to be the truth. But we also said that night for the first time that in all of our lives fighting against Zionism, I've been fighting Zionism for over 50 years. All of our lives fighting Zionism, I never thought I'd see the end of Israel. We walked down DuPont Circle a couple of weeks later, and when you walk up Connecticut Avenue and go to DuPont Circle, and you look back toward the White House, there's a tunnel. Y'all know that tunnel?
Yeah.
Goes down and then comes up. And we was out there talking, and I looked down that tunnel, and I said, whoa, shit, I see a speck of light. Looked like the end of Palestine. The end of Israel. Looked like the end of Israel. I can see it. And I still see it. In fact, it's closer now than it was then. Because every bullet that they fire, every bomb that they drop, every inhuman act that they commit against the Palestinian or the Lebanese or the Syrian or the African people, everything that they do brings them closer to their death. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Jihad cut me short on time. So I got cut to the chase. We're going to stay in the right here, right now. Right? This moment in history has never been seen before. We get ready to cut the left leg off of imperialism. You know what that is? Imperialism hopping around on one leg. Zionism, that's the left leg of imperialism. How are we going to do that? I don't know. But you do. I can't tell you how to do it. I got your back. You got to figure it out. It's your struggle. You are the point of the spear. You, these young people who I met 2 weeks before this encampment, was children. Some of them looked like to me like they was 15 years old. 2 weeks later, they was revolutionary freedom fighters. I knew what I'm talking about. I saw it happen. Transformation, overnight. Things that took us years and years and years and years and years and years to teach our own members. Not even mention the public. We taught them in 2 weeks. These are some different times. Ideas don't move like things, right? If I got a thing and I want to pass it around, it takes time to go from one person to the next. By the time it get over there, it probably ain't no good no more anyway. But that's how things move. Ideas don't move like that. Ideas move like a wave. They pass through walls. They cross time. They make the impossible possible. The ideas that have been generated by the Palestinian youth in this country in support of and in solidarity and in step with the struggle in Gaza is an idea whose time has come. I've been asked, or I've been told, that there's certain problems inside of our movement here, right? One of them is infiltration by agents of the enemy. And if you believe this is a major problem, you probably think that the enemy is sitting in this room with you right now. Because you think we have been infiltrated. In fact, you think that in order for the FBI to know what we're doing, they have to send somebody in here to find out for them and go back and report to them. Isn't that what you're afraid of? But I'm here to tell you that ain't the one. That ain't the enemy we have to worry about. They don't have to send nobody, they sent you. With your backward ideas, with your individualism, with your selfishness, with your ambition, with your desire to lead something you don't even understand. This is the enemy that is causing confusion, not only in our Palestinian movement, but in the All-African People's Revolutionary Party and the Black Alliance for Peace and the Pan-African Community Collective and every other organization that's trying to fight against imperialism. They have this thing down to a science so that they have us disrupting ourselves. And then they ask, well, we need a structure. Structure yourself around the work you gotta do. Right? Have these conversations among yourself. You say you want to smash Zionism, so you already know what the objective is. The question is how you're gonna do it. That's something you gotta discuss to come up with strategies and tactics in order to move you along the line towards the path of the victory that you seek. But once you have defined those tasks, once you have defined what must be done, then you should organize yourself to get that stuff done. Don't take some abstract theory about a vanguard party or a mass party or any kind of party from somebody else and try to apply it to this movement, because this movement is unique in space and time. And must shape a structure that allows you to do what you must do. And what you must do, and this is the one thing I haven't heard this week, is engage in a protracted struggle. You got to fight until victory or extermination. You can't go back like the people in Black Lives Matter at the end of 6 months in the streets and go home. Palestinians can't go home. Palestinians don't have a home anymore. Their homes have been destroyed, and their homes of their parents and their grandparents, and they sitting out here in this wilderness. And all I can say to you is, welcome to my world. I'm an African. I heard all that black talk out there. Y'all thought I was going to let it slip. I want you to know. I ain't black. I'm an African. I was stolen from my land and brought here. And I've been in this diaspora, scattered and suffering for 500 years. Welcome to my world. You want to know about capitalism and imperialism? I'll tell you about capitalism and imperialism. It's the worst system of exploitation and oppression that has ever existed on the history of humankind. And it was built on my back. And the very same things they did to me is they now doing to you. Come on. You got something to teach us. Because it's only been going on a little over 100 years. And you haven't had enough time to forget where you came from. But my brothers and sisters, they think they black Americans. They think they Afro-Americans. They think they Afro-Caribbeans. They call themselves Trinidadians, Jamaicans, Ghanaians, Kenyans, everything but Africans. And then they come to me, tell me to get my pronouns right. You ain't got your nouns right. But I got to get my pronouns right. Now I'm working on my pronouns now. I'm better at it. I dropped out of school in the 9th grade, but what I remember is that a pronoun is a term that's used to describe a noun. So if you don't have the noun right, I think some of y'all got your pronouns wrong. You had to check that for yourself. Why is it important that I'm an African? Because African people are really the only people in their hundreds of millions, if not billions, that have been scattered throughout the world. Everywhere capitalism is, we there. And everywhere the capitalism is, we at the bottom of the barrel. And at the bottom of that barrel, every nasty, stinking, rotten thing that capitalism does, we know about it because we got to clean up the mess. We ain't got no problem understanding capitalism and imperialism. Let's get rid of that garbage, that our people can't grasp these concepts because they too high up. Let's get rid of that, because nobody knows slavery better than the slave. He might not call it slavery, but he know ass whooping is an ass whooping. And we know ass whooping is an ass whooping. And capitalism and imperialism must be destroyed in the process. This is what you're smashing Zionism for. You're not smashing Zionism just to smash Zionism. You're smashing Zionism as a part of the worldwide struggle to destroy imperialism and capitalism and racism and patriarchy and all the rest, neo-colonialism, colonialism, internal colonialism. There's confusion out here. Some of us think that the Palestinian people are being murdered because of the designs of Netanyahu. Netanyahu is a puppet of U.S. imperialism. Netanyahu is a proxy. Netanyahu is implementing the U.S. global strategy for hegemony over the entire planet. Israel does not have any plan to have hegemonic reign over even the Middle East. But the U.S. does. That's why they in Iraq. That's why they in Syria. That's why they they in Jordan. They went so far again. They went so far again. They did it before. They did it again. To take Egypt out of Africa. Right? Say that. They got AFRICOM, right? That's supposed to be Africa, right? And they got EUROCOM, that's supposed to be Euro, right? And they got AsiaCom, that's Asia. They made up this thing called CENTCOM. Y'all in CENTCOM, you know that? I don't even know what it is. I think it's supposed to be central. That's where Egypt is. So they took Egypt out of Africa again. These people are insidious. And people are insidious, and they will not stop. They're not going to stop. Their intention is to wipe the Palestinians off of the earth, to push you all out of Palestine. And the crazy thing about it, the thing that makes me understand the necessity to keep fighting, is that the Palestinian people in Gaza, after being bombed, after being pushed to the border, after being pushed away from the border, after being pushed back to where they came from in the first time, refused to leave their homeland. And continue to fight, continue to fight, continue to fight. They don't show you the fight. They show you the death and destruction that they rain upon the people. They don't show you the people sneaking up out of them tunnels and handing them a hand grenade. They don't show you that. So, what I would like to do, as best I can, is to put us on a war footing. Right. We in my party, the All African People's Revolutionary Party, are of the firm belief that our people are at war. The enemy is attacking us all over this planet. We're dying, we're getting beat down, our resources are being stolen, our children are being murdered and killed, and it's been going on for a very long time. We are at war. Even those of us who don't know that we are at war, because when somebody wages war on you, whether you know it or not, you at war. We are at war. And when you at war, things get kind of simple, right? They asked me about solidarity. And I said, when you is in your country and bullets is coming your way, and you trying to get a shot off against your enemy, you ain't thinking about no damn solidarity. You ain't thinking about them people over there. In fact, the best thing them people over there can do is take out their gun and shoot at their enemy. So if they're really fighting for freedom, they shouldn't be thinking about you. Somebody said it here today. It is true. What can we do for the Palestinian people? We can destroy U.S. imperialism. That's what we can do. And this comment is very particular, right? The Cubans, they denounce U.S. foreign policy 100 times a week and 200 times on Sunday. But they never say destroy U.S. imperialism, destroy the U.S. government. They can't say that. The Venezuelans, they can't say that. Right? Even North Korea don't say that. Nobody says it. Why? Because the only people that can say it are the people who can do it. That's the people who live inside this crazy ass place. That's us, the citizen. Citizen, you imagine that? Steal me from my land, bring me over here, and make me a goddamn citizen. Well, I'm gonna tell you something about the citizens. We're supposed to be, this is a lie, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. We're supposed to be a part of America. And they had this thing called the Declaration of Independence. And this is a slight paraphrase, but the Declaration of Independence says we hold these truths to be self-evident that all human beings are created by equal. and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and that when those rights are destroyed over a long period of time, it is your duty to destroy and abolish that government. That's the Declaration of Independence. They talking to the citizens who they just loaded off the slave ship. So what we gonna do? It's we who have to do this thing. U.S. imperialism must die.
Right.
And in this, we have no conflict with anybody. We don't care what you're doing to help kill imperialism, as long as you're doing something to help kill imperialism. We need to do everything to help kill imperialism. We need every skill, every technique, every method of analysis, every tool that we can get our hands on to defeat imperialism, because it's the most powerful thing in the world. And the only tool we really have is ourselves, our human bodies. So, those of you, there's a French-Italian philosopher. I'm in school, so I'm using my quotes. His name is Manzini. And he said a revolution is a program that must be confined to men and women who believe in it. Right? You all have to find those men and women who believe in it. And you all have to develop that program and implement it. Don't let anybody tell you what to do as a movement. Don't let your parents. If you SJP, you don't let PYM. If you PYM, you don't let anybody. You know, it's your movement. And you got to decide. Why? Because it's your ass that's on the line. And you got to change your attitude. Oh, I'm so scared they're going to sanction me. What the hell you jump out there for if you ain't want to be sanctioned? I hear my brothers all the time talking about political prisoners. In my party, we got a principle that says jail, no bail. Organize the jail. It's revolution we're talking about, right? That means transforming the society. You confine yourself to, you develop a program, you find people who believe in it, you confine that program to the people who believe in it, and then you organize a structure to implement the program. And anybody who is in solidarity with you, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get behind you and say, let's go. We're gonna follow you. If you fuck up, we're gonna tell you. But we're gonna tell you while we're walking. We're not gonna stand on the side and throw rocks at you. We're gonna be right there with you and walk this thing down. Because capitalism and imperialism is weakening. Is in fact dying. We can see it every day. The desperation of the Zionists in Gaza are proof of it. It's dying. It's not sustainable. Right? And it's not. Now, I'll go to this mass line. I'm actually going to leave time for answers. I am. We'll go to this mass line for a minute, right? Basic stuff. A mass has both a quantitative and a qualitative aspect, right? So I'll use African people. In the United States, roughly 50 million Africans. And 70% of them 50 million are over the age of 18. So we got 35 million Africans who are adults. And a rough half of that, you say 17 to 18, is 18 million people. So we need 18 million people in our movement just to have an opportunity to be successful in fighting our enemy. I didn't say 18 million in my organization, right? I didn't say 18 million in our campaign. These are people who are just generally affiliated with what we're doing. We need 18 million. Now, we run around here thinking we're so smart. You know, we know about imperialism and capitalism and settler colonialism and neo-colonialism and internal colonialism. We learned all this stuff in a couple of months, and we really are some bright young people. We really need to give ourselves a hand. But you gotta first answer my question. Is what you know sufficient to meet the requirements of history? Is what you know sufficient to address the enemies which you must confront? Is what you know sufficient to destroy capitalism and imperialism and build a different world? Because if it is not, you got work to do. And a lot of it. And a lot of it. You can't defeat capitalism and imperialism with a cursory understanding of it. You must understand it to the depths, to the marrow of its bones. And we must figure out a way to poison this beast and kill him. That's just on the quantitative side. On the qualitative side, our people are divided into classes. Our people are divided into genders. Our people are divided by religious beliefs or the lack thereof. Our people are divided by our sectarian interests. And if we're really talking about mass, we gotta find those sectors in each of those categories that align with this movement that we're trying to build and bring them together to be at least representative of the mass, that is representative of every sector of our people, right? So these are basic perspectives. You talk about a mass line. So now, if you talk about a mass line and quantitatively addressing our people, don't come to me with no zine. Don't come to me with a zine. And I need 18 million people. I gotta be a little bit more sophisticated, right? When you got the technology, figure it out. I have a hard time with text. Y'all think I'm lying. That's really good. But we got the technology. Let's figure it out. How do we reach 18 million people a day? Beyonce do it. We don't know how to reach one. Do we need 18 organizations with 1 million people? Do we need 36 organizations with 500,000 people? Do we need, 72 organizations with 250,000 people? What we need? Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. We're fighting an enemy that is organized. And one thing he have over us, and it is a he. Capitalism is a he. Imperialism is a he. Patriarchy, they kind of go both ways, but I would be there long. We need to figure it out. So we need to organize our people in order to confront this beast. Okay, so we know what the quantitative mass is. We know what the qualitative aspects of the mass are. Now, we have to figure out what sector of the people do we need to go in order to properly approach either that quantitative or that qualitative sector, right? And here's your little piece of advice from Kwame Nkrumah. Have contested, you have an enemy-held zone. That's where you're sitting, right? Occupied territory, settler state, right? And you have a contested zone, and then you have a liberated zone. So before you can go from an enemy-held zone to a liberated zone, you must change the enemy held zone into a contested zone, right? The difference between an enemy held zone and a contested zone is a handful of genuine revolutionaries who are prepared to organize and act. You have more than a handful. What you must do is define out which among them are genuine. And let's organize them to act. Not to theorize. Not to theorize. Act. And out of that action will come your theory. I hear some of y'all talk about Marx and Mao. Y'all act like you don't want to talk about Yasser Arafat, but you're making a mistake. You need to study that man and what he did and didn't do, right and wrong. But you don't need some other person's philosophy to direct this revolution. You have a culture, and inside that culture is values, and those values will serve as the basis for your philosophy to engage this struggle, which is unique in history, which placed you at the point of being the cutting edge of the worldwide struggle against capitalism and imperialism. You have a mind of your own. Use it. Think for yourself. Develop your own ideology. You don't even have to give it a name. In fact, you already got it. You just ain't figured out what it is. Because every people have an ideology, just like every people have a culture. So, I'm going to wind it down here with a couple of other things that we need to smash. Right? Okay. So we need to smash the FBI and the CIA. We need to smash the industrial police military intelligence complex. We need to smash the Republican and the Democratic Party. And we need to smash liberalism among ourselves. You see something that's slowing down the revolution, it's your duty to speak up. Call it out and correct it. This is how we move. We don't sit on the side and say, look at what they're doing, that's wrong. No, we don't do that. We corrected these mistakes while we're walking down the street. We don't miss a step. We talk to each other. We communicate. We admit when we're wrong. We acknowledge our errors, and then we keep it moving. And the important part in this is to keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving because the enemy seeks to distract you, to take you off track, to slow you down, to send you in the opposite direction. Keep your focus on where you're going and the problems you have along the way, you'll solve them along the way. You got that? Yeah. Am I talking good? Yeah. All right. I don't know who's in the room, but I was adopted, y'all, at GW. And those young people is my family now, right? So you better take care of them, or you gonna have to deal with me. I don't play that shit. Do not fuck with my peoples, and them is my peoples, and do not fuck with me, because they will kick your ass. Let's be real. The mass line simply means the interests and aspirations of the masses of the people is first and foremost in everything we do. in our thinking, in our strategy, in our planning, in our organizing, in our demonstrations, in our rallies, in our fights with the enemy. We keep the people in mind at all times, and we consult with them, and we trust them to give us guidance and direction. This is what the mass line means. But what I'm trying to tell you is mass political education is the key to actually engaging in the mass line. And mass political education is not reading a goddamn book. I hear people say political education and organization. They're the same thing. Without organization, there is no political education. Without political education, there is no organization. Without theory, there is no action. Without action, there is no theory. You can't separate these things. People tell you we gotta bring them together. Theory and action. No. If you ain't got one, you ain't got the other one. You got to do what you believe. We got to do what we believe. Political education, the education is the stuff we read and study and talk to each other about. The political part is when we leave out of our silo, as our brother talked about earlier, and go out into the streets and talk to the masses of our people. That's the political part of political education. And that's the part we scared to do. And I don't know what you're scared of. It ain't nothing but your mama and your brothers and your cousins and your sisters and your neighbors. Talk to them about capitalism and imperialism. And don't tell me you can't do it, because you can do it. It's all around you. Oh man, how much you pay for them shoes? $100, damn. That's capitalism. The question is, what is your intentions? Right? We have to talk to our people. Last, just for the sake of my comrades in the back, you need to watch out for them damn chats. I'm telling you, that's just permanent. Y'all be getting there, you be saying all kind of stuff that you wouldn't even want your mama to read, but you're putting it in the chat for the FBI with my name in it.
With my name in it.
Let's be a little more careful, a little more thoughtful about our communications, right? The number one enemy of the revolution is isolation of the revolutionaries. So we gotta be like a deck of cards. Ain't no space in between one card and the next card. You don't even want to try to get up in there. You gotta be like that. You gotta be tight. You gotta learn how to communicate effectively. If you yelling stuff at somebody, they might not hear what you're saying. It's important to be effective in your communications, and it's important that what we're saying is being understood, because what we're telling people is what they need to do. And we don't want them doing the wrong thing. So we're going to tell them the right thing so they can do the right thing, right? All right, so I left you 60 seconds for questions. Come on. Come on, get up here. You too. Any questions for me? Come on.
Yeah, okay.